Welcome to Crescent City with your hosts, Natalie Jean and Jackie Zabrowski.
That's awesome, dude. I know. I very much get that feeling, and I think that would be a very good challenge to have.
Yeah.
Gotta win them.
You gotta get them.
That's why we're now out on YouTube. We gotta get you new ones in there.
Yeah.
Suck you in.
Come on over,
You're never coming out again.
You're trapped in our snail shell.
It's not necessarily the best introduction to me dressed like this because I do look like a villain.
I am very scared of you, but also, I'm going to say it, low-key sexually attracted.
Thank you. I was a little concerned about how into this outfit my husband was.
Oh, interesting. I don't want to think about the fact that Henry and I both love a stern woman sometimes. Just don't want to think about that.
Well, you know what was very funny is that when I came out, he said, "Oh, you look a little Elsa She-Wolf," which is the reference I made on the show that she did not know.
That's great. I love that. Means you're MFEO, you're made for each other. I do completely understand because the character that I just did, which of course it makes sense, it's just not a style I usually wear. I purchased a Morticia dress, like a full absolute Morticia dress.
Ooh.
And I came out and my husband was just like,
oh no.
It was like, I watched his eyes pop out of his head and he was just like, where did you get that? And I was like, oh, this Morticia dress.
This is
this. But it is kind of great because here's the thing, Jeff will see pictures of me dressed as Cormac or, where I also look like a little Charlie Bucket. And, that's not really seductive that I forget
Thank
sometimes.
God, if he was into that, I'd be like, Jackie, we need to have a conversation with your husband.
I guess I'd be proud of him. I'd be like, yes, king, own your fucking worth if that's what you're into,
You look like a little boy woman.
Oh, but also like a murdering mother. Thank you very much.
Sure.
Yeah, I think it was also like a little bit of that.
Evil mommy.
But yeah, it's kind of nice that I forget that we can cosplay. I mean, I am wearing an evening gown right now.
I know. This is you had one for one of our Faye ball appearances. You're wearing that gown, which I love. We love reducing recycling.
Yes,
I rewear my dresses all the time. And you look sick. Honestly, this crown is killing.
Oh my God, thank you so much. It is a seashell crown. And yeah, I'm giving river.
You are giving river
feeling
queen.
Ocean, I know.
You could be the ocean queen. We haven't met her.
I know we haven't met her yet, but like I guess, how do you give river and not give ocean? Maybe I should be mossier. Do I need more? What is it?
Yeah,
but then that's seaweed and that's ocean. I don't understand river life. Can someone sticks at me? Can someone tell me about river life?
I know fish swim upstream sometimes.
Yes, salmon kings.
I think if you're a river queen, you need a lot of like rusty beer cans because there's a lot of floating along rivers.
You damn right. Oh yeah, I wonder if she stoops a gator. Because there ain't nothing like, oh man.
Are gators in the river?
I mean, in Florida, when you go tubing down rivers, you can usually see somewhere there'll be a gator chilling somewhere. And then you just, you're like taking a gravity bong hit out of the river and you're like, just fucking don't be looking over here.
Man, Florida just is somewhere else.
Wild.
Isn't it?
It's wild. It is a place that is fun for a time. I tell you what, it can be fun, but then you wonder why you run away. And I think that we all know a couple of reasons why maybe sometimes we run away.
I think we could find a few news articles about it.
Yeah, but I think it's just because of bath salts. And it's only bath salts.
Oh, that's it. Otherwise, great.
Yeah, otherwise everybody's fine with what they are and are not allowed to read. I think it's good. Put us in a box.
I'm so tired of thinking about stuff.
It's like here, it's like SJM, it's scary for people to feel and to connect. I understand. Get rid of the books. Get rid of the books.
Oh, wow. You're being a real lake queen.
Yeah,
right
I'm
now.
a bitch in height 420.
There is no lake queen.
No.
Because who needs to... Lakes are with no moving water. All the bugs.
But what about the big ones?
I'm not a lake person.
What about the big lakes?
Well, the Great Lakes are great. They are.
Interesting.
That's why they're called that. But they have ocean waves because they're so big.
Oh, they have ocean waves.
They do.
So maybe the lake.
I have family
queen-
that lives on Lake Huron. Okay,
Is that the best of them?
Sorry,
Which one's the best one?
I don't know, but Lake Huron's beautiful and it's super clear.
Huron, Lake Huron, you get your diggings and then get the slibbins.
Diggins and slivins.
I think that I was thinking of the muck. Sometimes
there's
when
no
you're-
muck in it. There's no muck in Lake
Wait,
Huron.
what do you mean? I thought lakes were all muck.
No. Lake Huron has like a sandy bottom. It's great.
Sunday bottom lake.
But the lake that my family actually lives on, which is a man-made lake right off of Lake Huron, is only slop.
Man-made. I only live on woman-made lakes.
Oh, women should have never touched this lake. As a child,
Women have never
No,
touched
no,
this
no.
lake.
As a child, I used to swim barefooted in this lake, and a leash. I think I've told the story. My uncle had to burn a leash off of me with a cigarette. That is my
the
legacy.
90s, huh? Back when a kid could be a kid.
Yeah. Parents barely paying attention, definitely drunk.
Man, and the amount of grape Tylenol chewables I would eat. I was
For
just
fun.
giving them just for fun. I feel like I think I just liked them like they were candy, and I'd always be like, my belly hurts, my head hurts, but it really was all a way to get more grape chewable Tylenol.
It's the the price you pay for making medicine taste good.
This is what we get, And then the kids need the Dimetap bears.
That's why I make milkshakes out of Pepto-Bismol.
Good for you. Never have a hurt belly again.
Yeah, can't see there's any problem drinking a whole bottle of Pepto-Bismol on weekends.
No, I think that the chalk is good for your body. I think that's what they
Yeah.
say.
Yeah,
No,
it's
I think it's like a stones. I mean, we're not going to talk about doctor things here, all right? I don't know anything. Obviously, I know nothing about bodies of water. I don't even know how to swim. And this is IRL Jackie. I'm not talking as a river queen, because if I was being the river queen, I hope she knows how to swim. It's like, bitch, if you don't, I don't know what I want to tell you.
She's an elemental, I think. So I think she is the river.
Yeah, thanks, bitch.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I mean, I
don't have
am
a
supposed
sandy
to be a
bottom
bitch.
either.
I am not a good. People always say I look like a dom. I'm not good at it though.
Oh man, but you do look like a Nazi she-wolf.
Yeah,
Very
which
much
is,
so right
again,
now.
that's. I think I have to reiterate. My husband is very anti-bigot. I think it's because I look like I'm also at a goth nightclub from
Yes.
1985.
Yes, yeah, you do. You definitely look like the one that got dragged there by all the other ones that were like, sucking back the ski slopes up through their nose, and you were just like, yes, I will go with you. And then you soften, and then in time, like all of a sudden, like, uh-oh, your hat's kind of falling off, and uh-oh, your pants fall off.
Whoa. I thought I was one of those dancers at the club that's sort of like dancing but like not smiling at all.
Yeah, that's usually how you dance. No emotion whatsoever. Honestly, I do feel that if you did that at Henry, that this would be foreplay, and so I am worried about looking at you.
Yeah, don't look.
Yeah, I
Don't
don't
look over
know.
here.
I don't know how the idea of sexuality is introduced in your relationship, and I'd like to keep it that way.
I feel like that's healthy for our family's
Isn't this
relationship.
good for us?
Yeah.
See, but it's good we talk about these things, and I hope everyone out there is talking to their in-laws about
Sexual
not
boundaries.
talking about their sex life,
Safe words.
especially when everybody reads the
Kinks.
same smut. Y'all know my mom now reads the same smut. It is. You gotta learn how to navigate conversations talking about plot. And man, there is a lot of plot in these books. Thank God.
I support talking to your elder generations about the sex stuff. I cannot.
I don't know how to do it.
I can't do it. Won't
I
do
know
it.
some people are really good at it, and God bless you.
Oh, good bless you.
Oh.
But neither of the characters we are right now are in the chapter we're starting with.
No.
However, they are in the book.
I do have the
Also-
Cormac wig threatening us from off to the side
I
in
love
case
it.
he
And
wants
it
to come
obviously was a big hit with the listeners.
back. Everybody, man,
Oh no, people, are you kidding? People loving it.
it was, now you see at least, it was given bucket, but
I think it was adorable.
thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Yeah, it really, it really did wonders for my self-confidence.
No, why?
I mean, in a positive way.
Okay, good. Because you
Yeah,
were
I looked like
super
a murdering queen, and I also
Yes.
looked like a bitch that can burp their way down from a fan.
My most awkward wig, I looked like The Room. What's his name from The Room?
Yeah.
That's not fun. What's the fuck his name?
Tommy Wiseau.
I look like Tommy Wiseau in my awkward wig.
Man, we have a great signed, like a picture that Jeff had made of Tommy Wiseau by Tommy Wiseau, and he asked who he wanted to make it out to, and he said, "Oh, you don't need to make it out to anybody," and he just wrote "Tommy Wiseau loves Tommy Wiseau" on it, and that's apparently how he signs his things, and that makes a lot of sense.
I quite enjoy that.
Yes.
Good for him.
Also, I saw him one time, and I apologize if I ever told you this story, but we didn't know who this person was in this huge white Hummer, and the hand sticking out had a cigar, and I think like 3 rings on every finger. I've never seen so many gold bracelets on a hand before, and I was like, who is this? And then we pulled up, and it was Tommy Wiseau driving. I was like, that makes a lot of sense. Only in Los Angeles, baby!
California.
But to be
City
fair, he was also at the
Angels.
con that we were at, so it wasn't like he was just there for no reason.
I don't think he goes places except for when people are gonna
Paying him to do it. Yes, I think that
And
that
you know
is-
what?
I think that's it.
That's the life.
I mean, I feel like it's like, you're an Angelino when you're talking about seeing Tommy Wiseau and Jay Leno. Baby, when you see
They're
Jay
around.
Leno multiple times a week, only in LA, baby.
It's almost like go home, Jay Leno.
Maybe, or I don't know, don't protect yourself. Jay Leno just keeps like falling down hills.
Well, he's driving all these. Okay, we got to talk about.
Oh, do we have to start?
talk about the book.
Okay.
We're at chapter 4, and we are getting to this other new character who we met last week a little bit. One, Mr. Cormac Donnell.
Yes.
Who is he? Well, let's find out together.
Cormac Donnell.
Yeah, he does have a very Irishy,
He's got a bit of a brogue. He's got a bit of a
sounding
brogue.
name. That I guess maybe that's who he's supposed to. Maybe we're supposed to visualize. I'm not sure.
Yes.
We're with Bryce, and she's.
I think it's because of like the island aspect.
Yeah,
I feel like
think
it
so. That
is.
it's like UK-ish.
Yes.
We're with Bryce, and she's wondering why her star started glowing at the sight of this stranger, which is
No good.
because we're kind of getting the idea that it shines around
Hunt. So
So
why
let's
is it
think
shining
about
right now?
it.
Man, that's got to be such. It's like a fun mystery, but I'm so glad I don't have something, like a hernia that pops out every time I get, I see Jeff. And every
Oh.
time I'm just like, oh God, I got to put this hernia back
like
in.
when your love is shown.
Yes.
Well, I mean, also painful.
Yeah.
Imagine if your love language was you like being doubled over in pain.
I know. Or like, or a hemorrhoid popping out and you're just like, oh yeah.
Ugh.
Don't make me Lance
Don't
that
make me,
love.
don't make me think about Holden right now. So, it's-
was it the hernia or the hemorrhoids?
Either.
From hernia to hemorrhoids, the Holden
Holden
McNeely
McNeely
story.
story.
We got to remember to tell him this.
All right. It's clear Bryce has no idea who this guy is who's just shown up at this party. If you'll recall, we're at Rune Danan's house. He's having a big old house party.
Yes,
all
he
of
was
the
eating out
main,
that fawn.
the main cast. Oh yeah, I was. The main cast is all with us, and they have come across this dangerous threat. This big void is open in front of the house, and they all get into their hero positions. And then this jaunty little dandy man comes out.
Oh, did you see him as that? Because I saw him as a brick wall of a man.
He is, but now because I'm just cartoon. I'm sorry for the British people out there. Now I'm just going like, "Oi, hello." Mary Poppins in him.
Oh, you're Poppins in him. Does that mean you're gonna dance with penguins with him? Is that what they do? Is that movie?
Yes. Neither of you have seen Mary Poppins, right?
No, ma'am.
It is a classic Disney. That is a fantastic
I
Disney
know it's
movie.
good. It's one of those, I hear that Sound of Music. I feel I'm like, I know they're good.
I
know
to
they're good.
show Henry Sound of Music for the first time, and it is an amazing movie. And you would like it if you'd watched it.
I don't know how we've just missed out on, I don't know why. I don't know why we missed out on those. But every, horror movie made from 1988 to like 1999, we probably watched.
Yeah. We all miss some of those kids' movies. There's a handful I've never seen in my life. So it's clear Bryce has no idea who this man is. He is a blonde hunk, though. And
Remember the one that was here a couple of weeks ago, guys?
Oh, yeah, that was a couple weeks ago. But Rune seems awful familiar with this character, and he asks this blonde hunk what the F he's doing here. He's described as ruggedly good-looking with light brown eyes. And an accent Bryce describes as rolling and rich, again, kind of playing into probably Irish, Scottish somewhere. He drawls that he was invited. He then looks at Bryce and looks her over and comments on her appearance, stating that she looks better than he expected. And we're immediately just like, who are you?
Who are you showing up in a portal at this party that we're having?
And objectifying Bryce.
While my star is shining?
Who just saved the entire city. I guess that doesn't matter.
Exquisite?
Just because she has exquisite breasts.
Yeah. So maybe it's good you look like Charlie fucking Bucket.
Yeah. Rune looks pissed, but not overly afraid of this outlander. What the fuck are you doing here, Cormac?
Rune ground out, stepping closer. But he sheathed the star sword down his back once more. The blonde, Cormac, faced her brother. He sniffed once, then chuckled.
You smell like cunt.
That's not what he sounds like. Natalie, no.
I can't keep that voice up the whole time. So.
Natalie, no. You're very good at it, though. You're right.
A
he is jaunty,
cartoonishly
yeah.
British kind of sound.
I am. That's not where my brain is. But now that it is, I feel like, well, I guess I want to fuck Pinocchio.
Yes. You smell like cunt.
Oh.
Kind of. This grosses Bryce out, obviously, because that's her brother.
It's like, yeah, and also it's like, what an intro line, Cormac. Come on.
So we can see that he is being very disrespectful at the very least. The males continue to bicker and not acknowledge Bryce. Cormac makes it clear he knows Rune's friends, too, so there is some recognition between most of the parties here.
Interesting.
And he calls Tristan Lord Hawthorne, presumably because he knows it would annoy the trio, the boys, the Fae boys. So this guy is being, again, antagonistic towards them. But why?
But why? And also to show up at somebody else's party again, that you're just like throwing barbs the moment you come in here. Oh my God.
Somebody needs attention, I guess.
Yeah, I guess so. Big, thick man.
She can tell by his accent that he's from the island of Avalon. I say that.
Yeah.
Right? Okay. Which likely meant that he was trained to be a warrior of sorts, because I guess they train a lot of their males out there on that island.
Okay, tell me more.
And we saw that map that was commissioned by the fan of the books, and we see like Avalon's actually this very small island kind of to the west of the big continents that we're usually on. Just a nice visualization for me. Cormac notices Bryce eyeing him and tells her that Cormac, is her cousin. Which gross because of what we're about to reveal.
Yeah. But also, royalty.
Yeah, there is in these books, I think maybe that is because there's royalty in these books, and it is a sort of mention of how royalty kind of is in Earth side, which is there's a lot of distant cousin kissing or supposed to be kissing in these books.
Keep it in the family line.
Which is a very, sort of
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like fun. Like
it's sort of a like elitist / gross, weird, what's it called? Ethnic, like it's sort of saying like only our bloodlines are the clean
pure,
ones.
keeping them pure.
Yeah, it's gross. And also just like, so
there ain't nothing pure about Zabrowski blood, I will say. I don't think anybody wants to see whatever that would make.
Almost all of my DNA comes from like a very small section of the UK. And so probably there is a bunch of cousins in there, you know what I mean? Back in the day.
Whoa, well, I know that we came from a very different place, so at least you know that your husband is definitely not one of your cousins.
Yeah, I don't think beyond us all being, from the same cluster of people originally, I don't think we're very related at all.
Adam and Eve.
Yes, Adam and Eve.
Yes, good. I just love being the rib of a man.
I'm a rib. I'm but a rib of the man.
Yes.
Which is hilarious to me, as I say on my other show all the time. Everyone is conceived as a female whenever the egg is fertilized.
Yes, sleigh bitch, yes.
So if you believe life begins at conception, then you're all
Whoa.
fucking girls.
Whoa, mic drop.
Sorry.
Mic drop.
So
You're not a zygote, you're a girl.
So he's kind of being sexual towards her and also being like, I'm your cousin. So he goes on to explain that though he's related really more closely to Rune through his mother's kin, which is not Bryce's biology.
Yes.
They have trace ancestors through her father also. And Bryce is stunned when he uses Bryce's bio-father's name, which we only know as the Autumn King. And his name is King Einar. Einar?
Einar.
Einar.
I believe, if I remember the audiobooks, at Einar. Bryce blinked. Her mother had never once spoken the Autumn King's name, and Bryce had only learned it through the news when she was old enough to use a computer. Man, you know you hate somebody when you have never said their name.
It's interesting, too. Like, do you think that that is alluding to something else? There's a reason why?
It's got to be. It has to be. It has to be. There has to be. Right? I feel like SJM doesn't do shit like that for no reason.
Right.
And usually.
And there is a fan theory. I don't think this is a spoiler because there's been no
It's just a fan theory.
But that they are mated and that it's one of those like genetic mates where you can't help but be drawn to each other. So maybe like that's why
which
she
is why
say
her
his name.
And why the star is so it's a fan theory.
It's a fan theory.
We don't know.
We don't know. So, I meant actually the King Einar and
Ember.
and
Ember. Oh, definitely. That is, I mean, I feel like that is a rumor, but I feel it has become such a big rumor that it's kind of, there are certain ones, it's really crazy for the people that are out there like in the book talk world of it that really just make so much sense that it's like, it's got to be.
It's unfortunate that we are also like, we're a part of this community, but whenever there's fandoms of stuff and they create entire side things for the characters, and then I feel bad for the authors because then they're kind of beholden to all these insane people who are like, no, that's not correct. And like, she made them up in her head. Like, she made it up.
They're hers.
So we
I just think it's fun to sprinkle in a couple theories.
I do too. I think that there's a very healthy way to do that. And then sometimes maybe people take it a little bit far.
Yeah, it's like when you only eat one bag of twin snakes instead of 4 bags of twin snakes. Because yesterday I went to go buy a bag of twin snakes. It is gummies, and it's one snake is sour and one snake is sweet, and they are connected to each other. So I really like chewy fruity.
I'm glad that you explained this because that did not.
I just needed you to know, and it was just so the angel at the register was like, "Oh, you're only getting 1 bag of twin snakes." I said, "I really should," and she said, "But they're buy 2 get 2 free," and I was like, I mean, if you're going to tell me I should buy 4 bags of twin snakes.
Did you eat them all?
No, just one.
Okay.
I did eat one.
I feel like you would have a sick belly.
This is the problem with chewy fruity.
A bunch of snakes.
All the snakes, because the chewy fruity, you're like, I could eat it forever and ever and ever, and then you eat too much.
Yeah.
And then you hurt your belly.
Yeah. No, I agree. I try to not always have those in the house because they are easy to eat, and then it hurts.
Yeah, and it doesn't fill you up until you're sick.
Then you're sick.
Oops. Oopsie. I'm like a dog. Don't give me too many twin snakes.
And then she eats the throw up.
Yep, and then they throw it because, I mean, what am I going to waste the money?
Look at these snakes right here.
The snakes are, how much are they broken down at that point? They're made out of what? Horse hooves?
Oh. No.
Yeah, man, they hoove those snakes into the little molds.
No, stop it. So
they're good at their jobs, Natalie. I'm giving them jobs.
I know. So what's this about? Him never being named? Rune asks Cormac for like the 5th time why he has literally darkened their doorstep.
Cha.
Get it? Because like he darkened it.
Yeah, he did.
Hunt is now enraged at the disrespect towards Bryce, and he has his lightning sizzling, a clear threat to the new Fae.
Yet Cormac smiled. His dead eyes gleamed with nothing but contempt as he bowed mockingly to Bryce.
I'm here to meet my bride.
Uh-oh. Oh no. What you talking about, son?
Bride? New bride?
Yeah.
Bryce bride.
Yeah, man. Oh no.
We cut to Hunt's POV at this moment, and he feels like the wind has just been knocked out of him. Bryce on the other hand, takes the approach of laughing hysterically like you do sometimes when you hear an insane thing. And no one joins her. Everyone else is sort of stunned.
Yeah.
She just asks him what in the actual hell he is rambling about. And Cormac informs her that her bio-father and his bio-father, the High King of Avalon, have negotiated a union.
Ooh, Daddy. Oh, Daddy.
I feel like we are too progressive in Lunathian to be doing this.
Yes.
Hunt wills his lightning to crackle along his shoulders and wings as he stands beside Bryce, which is pretty hot.
Bro, oh my God, drenched in lightning. Please give it.
To defend his woman.
Oh my God.
But Cormac only sneers at them. Another sneery sneerson we got here.
He is a sneer boy.
Biting out that Bryce is to be handled between the men in charge. Ooh.
Oh yeah. Oh.
We finally see Fury, who has reappeared and is also strapped now.
Yeah.
So she has, I think, probably dropped Juniper off somewhere safe and then gotten her weapons. Even Cormac looks a little worried at the sight of Fury, who has a reputation far and wide because she's a mercenary. A very scary mercenary.
I love Fury.
I love Fury too. Cormac eyes the star sword behind Rune's back with interest.
Oh, yeah?
Noting that Bryce is said to have power over it as well. So he's kind of eyeballing their big, strong the sword, because that is what Rune won in his ordeal. And also now we have learned that Bryce has this star power and can also handle this special sword that only star people can. You know.
The Starborn!
The Starborn. And Bryce at this point has had it, and perhaps to a fault is not intimidated by these blustery men.
Mm-hmm. She ain't taking no shit from nobody.
Sometimes to like a point where she puts herself in danger.
It is
but
sometimes that I wish that it's like, you know, if you could use,
think. But she doesn't, and I do also admire that. She tells him to beat it, and that she's not marrying him. Take that.
Whoa,
ever.
Good
Cormac.
one, bitch.
Cormac expresses admiration at her, quote, mouth, which pisses Hunt off in an entirely different way. But he restrains his rage and zaps, knowing the fallout if he attacked a prince would be catastrophic.
Fae were highly sensitive babies. Their tantrums could last centuries. Which, of course.
Yeah. You don't want to start a land war.
No. Especially with someone that is presumably, as at this point, we know, royalty. It's like you don't want to start. And especially, Hunt was literally, we were just told, if you guys could just keep it easy, that everything's going to be fine. I mean, we know, obviously, they ain't going to keep it easy.
No.
But especially right now, it's like, you're going to do it over this?
They've got some hysteria eyeballs on them right now.
Yes, not the time, Hunt.
No. And he does. He holds himself back.
I know because, he knows how to control
himself. He can restrain himself, even though he could destroy Cormac in a second. But he doesn't. He doesn't.
Yeah.
I definitely, you said you felt more for Rune this time around of reading. This time doing this, I'm much more like, oh, I get why people are Hunt girlies.
Yeah. Hunt crazy.
So, defiant as always, Bryce tells him to get out of her brother's house and allows her starlight to brighten. Hunt is sort of titillated at this, but also is sort of wondering what will happen if she releases her full star power now that she's made the drop. None of them know what will happen now because since this has been released and she made the drop, the Hysteria were immediately like, okay, you can live, but don't you dare ever use all of the huge amounts of power in your body, and we're going to keep you alive for some reason.
And she's like, totally, like, I'm definitely never going to use all the power that I have in my body.
This magic horn in my back?
Yeah.
Like, I can't even see it.
Yeah. And I totally can control it. Like, yeah, I definitely know when it's going on and how to make it.
It's fine. Don't worry. So Hunt is sort of like, he doesn't want her to sort of take this power on, but he's also kind of like turned on by it. He looks at Rune to gauge his reaction to all of this and is sort of surprised to see that Rune is also glowing with pride at his sister. Like, he has welcomed having her as a comrade in arms. Like, he also doesn't want Bryce to pop off right now, but it's like, fuck yeah, girl.
But also, they're on the same side, especially after years of not really seeing eye to eye, that it's got to feel so good coming full circle from where they were at the beginning of the last book.
For sure, which I love. He doesn't want to be like, you have to go hide in the closet while we take care of things, because she doesn't want to do that. Cormac only smirks at the crew, because he's going to smirk and sneer, and tells them thanks for the confirmation that Bryce has the power after all. And so he basically had goaded her into doing this for himself, and that he'll see her later at the altar when they are getting married.
Oh, that's so annoying
So
of you
annoying.
to say.
He falls back
and you're
into the
so
darkness.
hot, and it's so annoying for you to say.
So annoying. He falls back into the darkness from whence he came, and the doorway turns to normal again. Bryce's star also blinks out when he leaves, which is what does that mean? Does Hunt have some kind of competition?
Oh, God. Is this what we need right now?
No.
No.
We don't need any of the things that happen in this book, and yet we get all of them.
But like Bryce and Hunt ain't even banging yet. So it's like, imagine all of this while also feeling this pent up sexual energy for someone. I feel like I'd destroy the house with my horniness.
Yeah.
You know?
And
and anger.
In this reread and for all this stuff, it edges, but I forgot. Once it goes, woo, it kicks up.
Ooh, yeah.
In overdrive.
Dust storm.
So don't you worry.
Oh, yeah, baby.
So we cut to just a little later with Bryce, and Cormac has really killed the vibe at the party. So everyone's kind of filtering out of Rune's house. He's sort of like, party's over, guys. We got to take care of whatever this was.
Once a portal opens, I guess the party's got to end.
Party lights are up to the brights again. It's the end of the night. Nobody ever likes when that happens. When the lights come on, you're like,
No. And then you hear the closing time.
Which I have not been to probably in 15 years, but.
What, closing out a bar?
Yeah.
It's been a minute.
It's been a minute. But Bryce is only thinking about one thing: getting her mom the heck out of town before she hears the news about Bryce's apparent engagement, because Ember's gonna pop off.
Amber gonna pop off.
Ember's gonna turn into a whole forest fire.
Yeah, dude.
Fury has threatened to hunt down anyone at the party who was present who dare leak the news about what just happened.
I can't imagine if Fury ever threatened me, I would turn into silly putty.
And everybody agrees at the party.
Just like, yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Anything you say.
If you needed to punish me or something.
Yes, it would be so bad.
So everyone is afraid of enough of her that they comply, and they like delete photos. And basically Fury says, if I hear a single, I will track you down if I find out you leaked something about this. So it's only a matter of time, however, before the news spreads in one way or another. And Bryce wants to be a few cities away from Ember when that happens. So now Hunt and her are sort of tasked with figuring out how to get her parents out of town, because if you remember, they were there for the ballet. Not to mention, she needs to get Ember away from the Auden King.
Yes.
And in case she tries to go burn his house down or something.
Can you only imagine? Oh, the fury of a mother scorned.
Oh, a mother scorned.
Oh, you don't want to scorn a mother, especially one like Ember. That's for damn sure.
Who is a feminist and will not be wanting to have her daughter sold off to somebody.
I also love that Ember is a human being, and that I love that she's still, even though it's not like, oh, because she's going to come in with her like shape-shifting ability, or she's going to come in with her lightning, or she's going to come in, or it's like, nah, I'm just like regular mom scared of Ember. Like, she is just like, because she loves her child. And that is sexy, scary, all in its own right.
Being mother is its own superpower.
Oh my God, it is. I've heard they pick up cars.
There's definitely a Facebook ad of that shirt somewhere.
Yes. Woman in total control of herself.
The remaining crew all gathers around the foot of the staircase after the last revelers leave the house. So we now have the main cast. They're the ones left at Rune's. The mood is a bit soured from this evening's surprise. Rune's face is unreadable to Bryce, so she broaches the subject. I take it that's the cousin from your ordeal? The Fae boys all confirm, yes, it is. Cormac was a part of Rune's ordeal, something we learned about originally in Chapter 16 of House of Earth and Blood. Though he wasn't named, Bryce recounts Rune's tale of his ordeal in that first book, which entailed entering somewhere called the Cave of Princes, where he retrieved the Star Sword, even as his, quote, hateful cousin had tried to stop him by any means necessary. So we have learned of Cormac through mythology and storytelling.
Lore.
But this is now this guy. He's the guy who tried to get the Star Sword before Rune. Tristan and Declan were there with all of them, offering a sort of mirror to the Bat Boys reaching the peak of the Illyrian Rite in Akator. For any of you Akator
that
people.
you say it. Very interesting.
The Fae Boys recount to Bryce and Hunt the story again here, adding that Cormac might be so salty partially
Because he's from an island.
from an island. He doesn't like being on a boat
Because of salt water.
because of salt water, because of the ocean.
He's salty. I can say that. I'm a river queen.
Yeah. Oh, whoa.
So
You don't
I
have
can
salt.
say it. Yeah, I don't have salt, so that's why I'm
that's not a
I'm
part of your
judging.
culture.
No, I'm judging.
Whoa. I don't think you can say that.
Can
No.
I feel like the different bodies of water would be against the other bodies of water.
Well, we learn a little bit more about their relationship in the chapters coming up. We'll see. So, yeah, he wanted the Star Sword. He assumed because he had some heritage connected to star powers that the sword was going to call to him, and that Rune
it's
got
not.
it instead makes him a little baby brat
Yep.
about it.
Get over it, bitch. Not yours. You're not strong enough.
Rune glumly points out that Bryce actually probably has more claim to the Star Sword than him, and that it's technically hers too.
I know, but like, you got it. Like you went through all that.
And he's like, he's not being passive aggressive about it.
No.
He feels in himself that he's not good enough and that he's proud of his sister, but is like, technically this is you have more star power. And then Bryce and Hunt make some very dorky jokes about splitting custody that are very cute because you can see their bond really growing.
He got her. Her humor, her fears, her hedging. Whatever it was, Ethelard got her.
I mean, you should be dropping your panties, I think.
Dude, yeah, let him fucking get that then, dude. Come on. I know it's good. It's nice. I know you say he's good with the hedging, but I think he's good with the fucking edging. And I think that he is doing a very good job with being very patient.
Yeah.
And every person should be.
She's salivating for him,
I
too.
know. And it's a strength, then it's fun to play with.
Sure. Bryce, as we said last episode, just tell your partner that it's a fun game. You're not going to have sex for 60 days.
Yeah.
It's sexy.
It's so sexy.
They will love
it. Yeah.
They will love it. So Bryce walks towards Rune to take his whiskey out of his hand to take a swig and can't help but notice that when she gets near to him, the Star Sword starts to hum. She's like, I'm sure it's some other reason that happened. Some other thing I can't think of right now.
Let's change the subject.
Rune then talks into her mind with his mind-speaking skills that he has, basically telling her that it's okay the sword calls to her, and we know he means that. Real men aren't threatened and emasculated by strong women.
This is the thing, and that's why, of course, Rune, babe, you just, yeah, you do know it.
Yeah.
And he even treats Bryce with just the utmost respect as well, which is just...
That's what a real man is. Those red pill bros are the saddest people on this weary earth.
Damn right.
And we know Rune is the polar opposite of that.
Damn right.
And when she balks at the offering, he gets a little annoyed, almost insinuating that he's kind of insulted that she would think his ego was so fragile, which is fair because she is sort of dancing around it being like, well, I don't want to take this away from you. And he's like, I'm not, you don't need to worry about that.
Right. I'm strong. You can, it's not, I'm not saying, but I also feel like if I were put into Bryce's situation, and oftentimes a lot of us are socialized to be people pleasers, I feel like it's also like you got it, it's your thing. I'd rather not shake the boat. Can we just
It's like if
keep
you
it?
suddenly made ballet your personality. And
Yeah,
you're like,
which I'm glad because I was going to bring this up today. I was like, Natalie, I need you to know I have started stunting too.
I actually, the thing is, I would be thrilled by that. I would be so excited.
What if I started doing backflips and then everyone knows that I'm made to do aerial work and they'd be like, I've been waiting for her to swan through the sky.
Are you kidding me? I would be so fucking excited that somebody else would want to do it with me.
This is like whenever I find out someone watches Sister Wives. I'm like, you also me? I don't know what to say. Where do we start?
It should be me as somebody who's doing so much LDS stuff from my other show, but I don't go down Sister Wives path.
Really, and also I feel that a lot of them left the religion.
Yes.
So it's really, I think that they've gone off.
They're also there's a side branch of the main LDS church in the first place, and it's like there's a whole thing there.
Yeah.
They're
always buying houses and selling them though, and I just feel
All
like
of them
apparently that's like
they all flip
where
houses
the
for
money
each other.
is. I don't know if anybody knows this, but apparently there's like a lot of money in that, and it's something like you have to like have all the money and then you can make even more money. I don't know if anybody's heard about this, but like apparently that's what they do.
You should do a money course in this costume.
Yeah, please. I'd be like, well, not that I need to, like, I'm gonna go
I'm in the river.
character.
I don't need a house, but you do.
Yeah, like it's like my shit's made out of shells, and hopefully a motherfucking otter got on that shit because I ain't making it myself.
Mm-mm.
I know that they're busy giving their messages, but also if you could make a bitch a house.
Make a house for me.
Or like,
I'm the river queen.
I'll take one big shell, like in Little Mermaid. Like I'll do one of the, like where I'm the pearl now, dog. And that's what I would say every day when it opened.
That'd kind of just be like living in a coffin.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, I guess that's good for you.
Yeah, I've watched enough now Interview with the Vampire that I'm ready to at least, I mean, I have to fuck in a coffin at least once. I don't know, like, I guess you got to get like a double wide, like if they sell them double wide.
You just got to mount. You mean with the door closed?
I mean, when the sun is up, what else are you supposed to do, Natalie?
How about just in an open coffin?
Yeah, but then I feel like I'm at a wake, you know, rather than being a vampire.
I mean, you don't feel like you'd be buried underground if the coffin lid was closed?
Yeah, but like in this fantasy, I'm a vampire. So it's really where like I rest. Like that's my relaxation.
Hey, listen, I ain't trying to take away your kink.
If I get rid of the bed and move in a coffin and I don't tell Jeff, it would be funny.
It would be funny.
But I don't know if he'd appreciate it.
You both couldn't sleep in it, so
I'll get a double wide. I'll get it commissioned.
Okay.
So anybody out there, if you could if I could commish from you.
Actually, there is a furniture company that I'm hopefully going to get something from at some point called Haunt Cult that does make a coffin bed. Haunt Cult, guys.
See,
they have amazing furniture, and I'm very hoping we're gonna buy something from them at some point. But they make coffin beds.
All right. I see this like now that's a reason advocate.
I'm kind of upset you haven't complimented my torque this whole time.
I thought you meant torque for a second. I was like, well, show me. I can't compliment it if we're not looking at it,
like
Natalie.
You haven't seen my torque
Yeah,
before.
I've seen, man, Natalie's always, she's like, when, the music is pumping, the butts be bumping, and she goes.
I can torque pretty good.
I'm sure you can. I know that you can. It's just not usually something you're doing in front of me for me. And I am questioning why you don't perform for me more often.
Just can't cross those lines.
Yeah, I guess that's what it is.
Can't do it.
I know that I've been watching a lot of Love Island. I just feel like that I can handle seeing it and separating myself from it.
All right,
You know what
fine.
I mean?
All right. You got it. Right after we record.
When in Villa, I tell you.
So, when...
6 days a week, Natalie.
No.
6 days a week.
I refuse.
6 days a week.
I refuse to talk about Love Island. So...
But Huda, she's just, man, she's gotta get out of the villa. But Sisterhood might be toxically ruining Love Island this season. But
I'm going to take this episode back home.
All right, we'll take it. You take it back. It's just like
so,
when in River.
When in River. I don't know what that means. Is that a Love Island thing or a River Queen
No,
thing?
that's a River Queen
okay,
thing.
Great. So...
Thank you for asking, though.
So she balks at this. He gets insulted.
Okay.
But she makes a joke about Cormac and how Rune's earned the sword from having to deal with Cormac.
Yeah,
all
he
this
went through
time.
the ordeal.
Right. And they all move on. The group all agrees to look into any legal loopholes they can find that will allow her to decline this marriage.
Love this.
I wish she didn't have to find a legal loophole, but it's not much better in America.
But also, like, them's the royalty breaks. Like, I mean, I have currently been reading Spare, Prince Harry Spare, and it is should
Long.
be called Slog. And I feel that it's like, you know,
Wow.
they're, yeah,
Birdie.
I said it. I feel that, you know, there are lots of things that they are forced into doing that it's like, well, I know at this point in the book, you're not thinking like, I mean, Cormac also doesn't have any choice over
Do
this
we know right
either.
now, though?
We
We
don't
don't know.
know. We don't, but it's like the way he's talking about it's as if the men that are in charge of both of that, like now reading back, it is interesting that it's like the men that are in charge of both him and Bryce have made this decision.
But yeah,
So,
for
but
sure.
I know we're not thinking about that yet. I'm just saying that, like, royalty, man, they got to deal with shit we don't got to deal with.
It's
A lot of
true.
them are still very evil.
Well, yeah, because you have to make them do special rules so we can pretend like they're different people from us, thus being able to just be special
Yes.
magic
Pickles
people.
gold chose it.
Right. And then so they have to be like, well, you have to cross your ankles every time you sit because then people will realize that you're just a person and for some reason you're given trillions of dollars in power because you were born.
Man, have you ever sat with your ankles crossed in the way they teach it in the etiquette class in A League of Their Own?
Quite literally, no. I don't. sit
I'm
like that.
trying to do it right now, and I can't even get both. Like, my thighs are too juicy that, like, I can't even get both, like, feet flat on the ground when I cross my ankles like this. So I guess I'm just not made to be a lady.
You're too sexy for
Yeah,
it.
because I'm made, these knees are made to be open. Like a barn. And grandly. Yep, I think about it all the time.
Same. So
God, when are we going to get into etiquette classes, Natalie? I think it's time for us to
We're-
learn how to be
we're
real women.
tumbling backwards in time
I
right now.
know,
So
I think it's
soon
time.
We may need to.
We don't know how to be a real woman yet. And I think that once we learn how to keep both those fucking heels on the ground when you are crossing your ankles, then maybe we like transcend into a greater level of.
We won't want human rights anymore.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Let's give it a shot.
It's like
I'm
if we stop
tired.
wanting it.
I'm tired.
You
I don't
know?
want to try anymore. So, just kidding. This group will look into the legal loopholes. Lunathian is progressive, relatively speaking, but the ways of the Fae are still quite archaic in many ways.
I mean, they've been all around and they're alive for so long. Of course, they're steeped in tradition.
For sure. Bryce steps outside to get some fresh air. Hunt, of course, right behind her. So she walks out of the house. He questions her about how she's feeling, and Bryce reveals that she sees all of this as some kind of 4D chess that her father is playing, that it's not just about, royal traditions, that he's playing some game that she can't figure out yet.
And why exactly?
That the engagement isn't as surface level as it seems. Nothing is as surface as it seems with the Autumn King.
Can't trust him. Can't trust his turtlenecks.
No, you don't know what's under those secretive neck throats.
No, and is it
Throat
hickeys? I don't think it is.
I mean, they do. Rune does insinuate that he walked in on him post coitus at one point. I think it's Rune or Bryce. So he'd be banging.
so he'd be banging.
I
it.
mean, he's supposed to be incredibly good looking.
Yeah, of course he is. And it is like, man, I really thought, though, growing up, that you really only wore turtlenecks if you had hickeys. Like, I thought that that's what, like, if you have a turtleneck on, then you definitely have hickeys. Like, I feel like that was from the moment I heard about
That's from a lot of
hickeys.
like pop culture stuff, probably.
Yes. And I
Yeah.
think it's also because I had such a fascination that I was like, I want someone to chew on me to such an extent that I am bruised by it. But again, that was a young person's thought. I don't think I've had a hickey in 15 years. Like, I feel like it's been
I don't
long
know if
enough.
I've ever had a hickey.
really.
Yeah, I wasn't sexually.
I'm a bruisey baby, though. I
mean,
bruise
same.
easily.
I just wasn't.
Getting chewed on.
No, not in high school.
Oh no. Oh yeah, no. I meant 15 years ago in my 20s because I'm old, Natalie. I wasn't talking.
You were
high
getting
school.
hickeys in your 20s?
I thought it was
hey.
hilarious.
That's I'm not shitting on it. That didn't happen for me.
No, but now looking
I guess
back,
I'm
I
not
realize,
delicious enough.
no, I think that for me, it was way more a problem with my self-esteem, and I needed everyone to know that, like,
Aw.
I do get it, and I will get it, and I think it was a much more sad choice.
Well, I'm sorry, and I didn't mean to bring up your traumas.
Natalie,
Actually, you brought them up. You brought them
did
up.
this
You did.
to me. I'm going back in the river, and you never invite me to the house, and it's going to be made out of moss, and the otters are going to come.
The LA River is pretty much a dry tunnel.
Yeah.
So if you go in, I'll just come get you.
Yeah, because I'm just going to be laying there flapping on the ground, being like, help me, help me,
Yeah.
help me, help me, help me.
So Bryce sighs and tells Hunt that she'd been really enjoying the simplicity of their summer. And that's gone now because they had, after the spring, had a few months of just being kind of just domestic. And they were getting to know each other and she was really enjoying it. And now, obviously, that is no longer the case. Now there's this other thing that they didn't know was going to happen. She asks Hunt whether he thinks that her father planned the timing of this to coincide with the news of the new archangel, whose name is Celestina, coming into town, perhaps to rattle them both for some reason that they don't even fully know about. That maybe he was banking on Hunt attacking Cormac, and in doing so, giving Celestina a big grand gesture at the beginning of her tenure to get rid of Hunt for his insolence.
Or to, like, torture him, or, like, use it, like, especially in the last book, of, like, as an example. Like, because, of course, they're going to try and see if they can get it out of him.
Because at this point, the Autumn King can't override the Asteri giving their blessings to Hunt and Bryce as a couple. And so now he has to kind of try to maybe trick them into fucking up so that Hunt would get out because he doesn't want Hunt around.
Like, don't you have other things to do?
No,
It's
he's
just-
always by himself, just looking at, he's turning knobs and like stirring potions. That's all he
figure
does.
something else out. Can you, like, look into, like, female heart disease? I'd rather you
They never
do
do that.
something.
They never do that.
Please take your time and invest it in a way that we could really use. That
He's
would be
probably
awesome.
just in there trying to figure out how to make sure gay people can't get married.
It's like, oh, good. Oh, I'm so glad.
Thank
That's why
you.
you're wasting your
You
time.
saved us all. So as she mulls all this over with him, she calls her and Hunt a team, which seems to affect Hunt.
And that's just because he's
emotionally.
throbbing so insanely. He's
Yes.
like, oh, team of what?
But also emotional.
No, it's nice.
He's like, because he's never really had that. Even, and we'll talk about that more in the book, but even with Shahar,
With Shahar.
he was not really a teammate with her. She was the boss, and he was in love with her.
He has been controlled
Mhm.
for generations, for hundreds of years. And Bryce gives him a freedom, which is crazy to think of the Umbra Mortis as not having freedom ever.
Well, that's sort of almost him reversing SJM reversing gender roles.
Yes.
And
Oh,
it's
definitely
interesting to
is,
have
for
it
sure.
put on a guy character.
And such a masculine
Mhm.
character
Yeah.
too. That I like that she does play with this, and it is crazy that, I know obviously I'm not saying in the last 10 years, but in the world of fantasy, that has definitely not been the case for very long.
Right.
So it's fun.
Yeah, and obviously different now in this generation, but prior to that, there wasn't a ton of that. So he,
Especially you think about Dune. You know what I mean? I feel like you
I
wouldn't
always
find. I know. We, the wives of people that are obsessed with Dune. Yes, we know how to reference Dune, but I will say, very interesting how Oscar Isaac could do no wrong. It's it
Well,
was
yeah.
that he was in charge, even though the Bene
all of the old fantasy epics
Bene
that
Gesserit.
I also really like were steeped in patriarchal belief
Bene
systems.
Gesserit, but the Bene Gesserit do have. I shouldn't even be talking about Dune right now because I can feel Henry in
But
the back of my head being like, "But you're not talking about it." I know, I'm not talking
I
about it.
actually
properly.
think he wouldn't disagree with you because there is a misogyny to a lot of those, and it's just because it's based probably on the time period they were alive, and that
Because even the Bene
we're-
Gesserit need him. They need
I mean,
Right?
Don't
guys,
get me in.
dude, sound off.
We can go into how that all connects to biblical stories if you want, but we
Oh,
shouldn't.
shit, rib. I know rib. I can say rib. I know I'm made from a rib.
I'm a rib.
Yeah, no, so don't give me my baby, 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 baby.
And I'm the reason we can't be nude right now.
Oh,
sorry.
Yeah, because every time before we record, I'm like, Natalie, today, can I be nude now? And she just keeps saying no.
I ate the apple. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I wanted to know information, and that's bad.
Yeah, and I just want to be like Goop, taking off my shirt and making breakfast for my honey.
Goop.
Yeah, don't worry about it. Yeah, it's Gwenny.
All right. Fucking goddamn. I'm sick of her. So he steps closer to her in this moment as she's kind of stressing about everything that just happened, and they come close to kissing. But instead, he just snatches his hat back off her head like they are in 8th grade. Knowing now wasn't the time to take the kiss because they're waiting and there's like a lot of bad stuff happening.
They're very good with their boundaries. I'm very proud of them.
Bryce tells him, screw it. I'm not going to worry about the entire world tonight. We just need to figure out how to get my mom on the dang train. And that's taken one step at a time. And I think that's good.
Gotta get her out of there.
They go back to a joking tone and she begins to guide him away from runes and back towards their apartment, suggesting they watch some trash TV and make plans to sabotage her parents.
One of his wings brushed along her back in the softest of caresses. Every inch it touched lit up like first light.
Sounds like a normal Tuesday night.
I just love that. I love just like, they're just having a regular conversation, but then it's like, don't touch me. Don't look at me.
One of his balls rushes along her leg.
Yeah, I mean, the second the balls touch your leg, I'm just like, get me to it.
Give me them balls.
Give me them balls.
They stroll back. Get this stick out of here.
Yeah,
I need to get into the balls. They stroll back, and though Bryce has been joking and flippant, her thoughts are dark, wondering how she can handle this new kick in the balls.
Balls.
As they enter the elevator to their place, she's considering telling her mom that you have to go because I have a job offer. Jessica, you know how you want me to work somewhere else? She needs something and I maybe have a job there. And as she's having this thought, they come face to face with her front door from the elevator and she sees it's not fully closed.
I just feel like, how do you ever leave your house ever again? If there was ever a moment in time that you left the house to go out and get drunk and you came back, and I'm talking about last book, and you come back and all of your friends are ripped to shreds in your apartment, how do you ever leave? Like, I don't know if I could ever process that. And then you come home and you see that door. I think that like I would go into a panic attack. Can you imagine?
No.
I'd flip out. I wouldn't be able to control myself.
But then you have to put it into the context of her being pursued by demons constantly.
Yes.
And then you're like, I guess.
She's like used to it, I guess.
I think it is the level of the amount of trauma is that you just kind of blends in maybe.
Yes.
So, yeah, but no, exactly. I mean, she does have those moments of being returned to that night all the time in the first book. I think we're maybe supposed to watch her
growth
or her feeling of security with, not because of her partner. She doesn't need the man, but she feels a level of peace because of having these relationships in her life. However, not a great feeling probably to come and see the door ajar.
No.
And she sees it's not fully closed and, what fresh hell this is.
Syrinx was barking inside, and Bryce lunged for the door, the memory of another night washing red over her senses. Now, as then, the scent of blood was a coppery tang in the air, in the hallway, on the threshold of her door.
So she is actually going.
She's feeling it.
Hunt cuts her off physically, using his might to get in front of her to try to protect her, to analyze the threat before she walks face first into it.
Violence written in every taut line of his body, his raised wings. Surprise flared in his dark eyes, and then he lowered the gun. Bryce beheld what was in the center of the great room and swayed into Hunt with relief and shock. Yes, the gods had clearly formed a how to fuck over Hunt and Bryce task force. Inside lay Ethan Holstrom, bleeding all over her pale wood floors.
What? So just as we get with this book a lot of the time, we are going to in another POV, jumping to a whole nother part of Crescent City, of the world of Midgard. We are going to get into a lot of other side stories that are kind of also important to the core story. It's not necessarily even side characters.
But this is really when it starts to like burst out there of like, oh, this bitch is playing with perspectives now. Like, I feel like way more than in the first book that she really does start to, and this shows even more as the next two books go on, that I like that she starts playing with more perspectives. I love getting more into the heads of the other characters. It really builds out the world so much more. I feel like she learned, like, I think now having read Throne of Glass between when we read ACOTAR, like, because Natalie and I read ACOTAR and then Crescent City and then Throne of Glass. And now having read Throne of Glass, it's interesting to see how much she has grown as a writer, that she starts playing with this stuff in this second book.
And we actually see that also play out in Throne of Glass, where because over the years she wrote that series,
of course,
towards the second half of the series, she's doing the same thing in Throne of Glass as she is in Crescent City, which she started much later in her career. So you watch that progress happen in the other series too. It is a familiar face we're with in this new POV, and this is a bit of an intro into how the rest of the series is going to go. Grander scope, more plots. I, again, like you just said, personally enjoy it. It can be a bit maddening whenever, though, you're at an almost climax in a chapter and then goes to another part of the world.
I feel like we get there definitely in book 3. I feel like we will talk about there are points that I'm just like, I will burn the world to the ground.
Yeah, it's going so far. In Throne of Glass, she ends up having 2 tandem books occurring side by side on separate continents simultaneously. So, you know, you're going to get a lot of this in this book where you're getting to a very tense moment or a very sexy moment, and then you cut over to an entirely different story. But that's the art of seduction, isn't it?
Oh, yes, and we know about that here. Obviously, look at us.
This chapter, we're with Therian, our old mer friend from House of Earth and Blood. We're going to learn a lot more about him in this book, so strap in.
Okay.
And possibly strap on.
Okay.
I do think that Therian would enjoy getting pegged.
Cha.
And I mean that as a compliment.
I also feel that, like, I need to separate Therian from the Deep, which is a character in The Boys. Because I will say I have fallen off of The Boys, but in The Boys, a lot of... there's been some speculation that maybe the fish fucking that this character does exhibit, but he speaks to the fish and dolphin. So it is like he's in a relationship with a dolphin. But it is apparently a la Tom Cruise having sex with fish. So, that's not what's happening with Therian. But I think that I have to separate that. I'm like, the Deep is definitely way more of a, I don't want to say sex pest, but he is more of a gimme than Therian is, because I think Therian doesn't need to say gimme. You know what I mean?
I mean, Therian is definitely an F-boy through and through.
Cha.
But I wouldn't put him as sex pest because he's only flirting with women who are very interested in it. Who are like...
But I think also all women are, because he is who he is. Yeah.
So we're with him in this chapter, and we're in his thoughts as he's on this tiny boat caught in the stormy, turbulent sea, which is not where he usually is. He is of the river. His queen is the river queen.
Yeah, bitch. Hello.
But we're here, and we're hearing his thoughts, and he's very frustrated. The river queen is pissed at him for hurting her daughter. And we'll learn more about that story, too. That the river queen needs an unseemly task accomplished, and he's technically her intelligence officer.
Bring me intelligence!
So he is gathering intelligence technically, but also she's kind of doing this as a punishment to him.
Yeah, because he's supposed to be in love with my daughter, all right? Yeah, some of us have to make decisions for our wayward children, all right? Because you ain't doing what we need you to do.
I'll talk about this in a little bit more as he breaks the story down, but I'm not necessarily not on River Queen's side for some of this. So we find out that Therian in this moment is in search of the very character we met in the prologue Sophie Renast.
I hate to break it to him.
Well, he's pretty sure she's dead.
Yeah.
But even as he's on this horrible ship in the middle of this dark, stormy sea, ever faithful F-boy Therian is fantasizing about all the veneer and humans who are thirsty for him on social media, even as he thinks he's going to puke from being aboard this rocking ship. He's fantasizing about being back in Lunathian and thinking about all the people who want to have sex with him.
I do think it's funny that, like, I never thought about a mer being able to get seasickness, and I kind of like that he gets it. I think that that's just such a little note about Therian that makes a lot of sense.
Well, yeah, especially because he's always
so confident and so...
Well, but he wants to be part of our world.
Yeah, he does. Sorry, fish boy. Get back in the water.
Get back in the water.
Because that's the thing, because they can be on land for a while, but they always got to go back in. You got to come back to me, baby.
But people Veneer like Therian only sometimes go in long enough to make sure the fins stay and then immediately bail.
Pop back out.
So he is on this rocking ship. He's accompanied by a small crew that he has employed due to their discretion, and it instructs the captain, the commander of the ship, who is a dolphin shifter, to help him search for what they presume is a body. Apparently, the River Queen receives news from the waters themselves.
I feel it from the waters.
And all of the queens kind of get their intel through each other through the water. It's almost like a whisper system.
Yes, bitch.
And through that, she somehow got the intel that a thunderbird was thrown under the water into the world. For reasons that are unclear to Therian, the River Queen wants to locate and extract Sophie Renast as quickly as possible, and in the slight chance she somehow survived. But even dead, his queen wants her body for some reason that he does not know.
Do not question me.
And he can't. He doesn't. He's very afraid of her. And as he and the captain look through the glass in search of this girl, he thinks miserably about his current fate, how he ended up here, and how it was technically because he was promoted to this position after he found his sister's killer. We learn her name was Licia, and he took vengeance out on her murderer, though it brought him no peace or healing.
He did what he thought he had to do.
He did find her killer, caught the killer, and then was promoted through that work.
I gotta give respect where respect is due.
Well, also, you just realize he's useful, you know?
Yeah, he's pretty good at it, so I'm probably gonna use him for other things.
Yeah. The boat reaches the rough area, like the area roughly where she would have fallen. And Therian thinks about, while he's there going like, we're going to go down and find this, he starts thinking about the horrific fate of Victoria.
It's like, can we please think about the bitch that was put into a box?
Somebody go get her.
Someone bring her back. You know she's not dead.
Even Therian thinking through Victoria's horrific fate is like, that must suck. Oh, well, I gotta go do this.
Gotta do other things, though.
So Therian thinks about how everyone seems scared to retrieve Victoria, lest it seem like some rebellion against the Asteri, even though the person who technically put her in that position, Micah, dead as hell.
Yeah, but you can't trust the Asteri.
If I was Victoria, if I was ever rescued, I would be full villain arc. If I was finally... someone decided to go look for me or whatever and they pulled me out, I would be full Joker.
Give me a whole book on her vengeance, SJM. I will read it.
God.
Let's go take down the Asteri from, Victoria needs to come back.
I feel like she's brought up enough that I feel like she is going to return in some way.
Yeah, she's like King Tutankhamun.
Like a mummy?
No, like a mummy, but also they really die when you stop saying their name or whatever. That has nothing to do with King Tutankhamun. I just remember that I saw a museum thing about King Tutankhamun, and they were talking about how really he's never dead because we're always talking about him.
It's just one random guy.
King Tutankhamun.
He was just a kid, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Well, so you went and you didn't learn anything about him.
Nope. But I know that there was
name.
that one line, and I know King Tutankhamun.
All right, so
I saw his corpse, okay?
the crew pulls out a submersible and down into the ocean deep they go.
But not
which
like
made
the
me
other. Yes.
think of, have you watched the documentary about the Titan submersible
No, I
explosion?
have. I don't know if like
Wow. Holy cannolis.
I've watched.
I recommend
enough,
watching it.
I've watched enough TikTok. Like I really got lost in the TikTok world of pulling apart what happened. So I feel like now I'm like, I know they made bad decisions. Many, many bad decisions.
I feel like you should watch it. It's mind blowing.
All right, I'll watch it.
Yeah. So they have a submersible, but they are being responsible with it. They have the technology correctly figured out, unlike maybe some other people. And so they go down to the bottom of the ocean. They begin their search. As they're doing this, Therian is having a slight pity party for himself, thinking about how he ended up so deep into the claws of the River Queen.
I get it. I would be upset too.
Which involved him wanting the River Queen's daughter so badly. So when he first met the River Queen's daughter, he was like,
Honey, you should have gotten to know her a little bit more.
That he swore an oath to her and took her maidenhood.
Bro.
And I'm sorry, you should have gotten your, I wrote murmur.
Natalie, murmur. Hey, you get that murmur back down there in your fish. Murmur.
How does it happen? How did I come up
You
with
gotta say it. You know, you listening to this, you want to say murmur out loud.
Say it.
It's fun.
So he should have gotten control of himself if he didn't want to be in this predicament.
Bro, why'd you fuck my daughter?
Also, took her virginity and swore an oath to her. I'm sorry.
Not that mommies should have control over babies' virginity.
No, but
In the world of the murmur, you just should have known a little bit better.
it wasn't just because of the River Queen. It was that the River Queen's daughter became, like, she was emotionally invested. She loved him. And so
And
the River
he's a
Queen,
fuck boy.
he's a fuckboy. And she did not know that because the River Queen's daughter is very, she is
sheltered.
She is held against, like, she's kept away from society. And this River Queen is a very protective.
She's
And
living in the deep, y'all.
And so the River Queen's daughter fell in love with him. And then he was like, oh, after he came, he had post-nut clarity. Too late, bud.
Oh, no.
Also, did I look up if any fish have penises during this? And turns out that some of them do, because I was
Really?
like,
What kind? Do they? Is it like a corkscrew? Are we talking like
No.
a barb? Or what do we?
most fish don't have intercourse because they just leave the
And
fertilization.
then they
the
squirt
egg,
on
they
the
squirt
eggs.
But there are some who do, including like sharks and manta rays.
Oh.
But there's also some fish. There's this one kind of fish called Phallostheristes. It's Greek for penis chest.
Whoa, penis chest. I've been with a couple of penis brains, but I don't know if I've ever been with a penis chest. I mean, does that make it throbbing?
It means, well, these fish have penises on their heads that penetrate the
Whoa.
female
Yeah,
fish.
well, I guess giving head is a little bit different to them.
Men always stick it with the penises anyway.
Yeah,
Might as well
like-
put them on the heads.
Maybe like replace the brains with them.
So we don't know. There's also a kind of some fish have something called a pseudopenis.
Yeah, I've been with a couple of those.
I do want to have a band called the Pseudopenises.
Pseudo-penis is fun.
But we don't know. Also, because the River Queen's daughter isn't fully immersed, she's just a little bit of immersed. She's mostly an elemental. So now all I'm thinking about is like, how do they have sex?
Don't worry about
How
it.
did he take her maidenhood with what?
Don't fucking worry about it.
I am worried about
I'm
it.
elemental, all right, bitch?
I want to know I want some fan artists to please show us.
I guess if you're elemental, does it count for sex if you just have your dick out and the wind comes through? Like, is that you having sex with the wind?
But if he's in mer form, does he have a penis?
I mean, I don't know. I feel like maybe he is. Maybe we don't know the sex that they had. Maybe
He was a guy.
He did come on her eggs, and maybe that's why it's such a big thing. Because it's like, bro, even more so than in the world of the humans, like, you can really make a lot of fucking mer babies if you're squirting all over my eggs.
But I'm sorry, if that was all it was gonna happen, he was just gonna masturbate on her eggs. Why did he want to have sex that bad with her? Like, that's not even him getting it off.
Maybe to Myrrh, coming on the eggs is a different kind of orgasm than just coming.
Maybe.
You know, like maybe it's like it's like, you know, the difference of orgasming when you're by yourself than when you're with your partner. Obviously, it's the same mechanics, but like sometimes it's very different. So maybe it's like that.
Man, I'm just thinking about people coming on eggs in a frying pan.
Coming on some eggs.
And that is grossing me out.
Hell yeah, man.
Okay. Well, I want to know if anybody has some fan art they want to try to just make a diagram.
Of coming on eggs?
No, please do not send that to me ever. Please don't.
Unless they're phallus unless they're dick brains.
Unless it is art about how Therian and the River Queen's daughter consummated. I want to know that. I do not want to watch. Don't send me any porn that has something to do with breakfast foods. Okay? Just so we're all clear.
But how do they get that Canadian bacon slapping?
Ew. Gross. I don't even know what that means.
I mean, where's it going to slap? It depends.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah. I just imagine getting like your ass getting slapped with a big piece of bologna, you know?
I mean, that's
you're
probably not even.
Yeah.
I don't even think that's that rare of a pornography, probably.
I'm sure
I remember
it's
that I think it was Fred Durst got filmed doing that to a fan.
Bologna?
Slapping a woman's butt with bologna. And it was like,
wow. That is very specific.
Yeah. After a number of hours, Therian spots something on their technology as they're scouring the sea floor.
The remote submersible had floated past boiling hot sea vents, past muck and rock and all manner of strange creatures. But there, tucked among a cluster of red and white tuber worms, a square rock.
I love a good deep sea creature.
Yeah, bitch.
Do you know the giant tube worms in the sea trenches in the earth can live up to, sometimes they estimate, towards 1,000 years? It's one of the longest living creatures on earth.
Whoa. What do they do to pass the time?
I guess just eat plankton?
Well, they are tuber worms, so are they like YouTuber worms and then they become like wormfluencers?
They have wormfluencing.
Which would be good for them.
Yeah.
Bring it down there.
Give them something to do so they don't become radicalized.
Maybe that's what the submersible was doing, but it was hidden because they don't want us to know about the content creation that comes from deep sea life.
Maybe. We don't know a lot about the ocean floor still.
No, we don't.
You really don't. Anyway, they've realized they've come across the weighted blocks that were attached to Sophie. When they see that square, like a, sentient being made square block.
When first seeing the square rock, I don't know if it was just me, but how many of us thought it's Victoria, and then it's not Victoria. I just keep hoping.
I feel like if they saw Victoria, they'd be like, "Oh man, look, it sucks.
You really shouldn't."
Anyway,
touch this.
we gotta go find Sophie.
Yeah.
So they see the chains attached to the rock after they, start to inspect it, but find that there is no Sophie there. The captain suggests that she must have gotten taken away by the current or scavengers. And Therian agrees with the captain, but sees something that the dolphin shifter apparently missed. He keeps his mouth shut until shortly after they've returned to the surface, piloted back to land. On the phone with the River Queen, he tells her the bad news that Sophie's no longer attached, but that he saw something. The shackles, they had been unlocked. The River Queen is incensed, but asks if Therian believes that she escaped.
Bring me the Thunderbird!
He doesn't know, but he doesn't think that she made it to the ocean floor. Mystery. Apparently, his queen also knows about Sophie's brother, Emil.
The waters know all.
And commands, not all apparently, she doesn't know.
No, just some of the things.
I'm
surprised none of the fish would have told me that she got away, but I'll take it.
Off with the fish heads!
Yes!
And commands Therian to find Emil as well, perhaps seeking him out. Sophie will be sure to follow. Therian knows his queen to be harsh and even cruel.
But beautiful, you may say it.
And beautiful.
Thank you.
Very, hot
Thank
and
you.
doable,
Thank you.
but doesn't suspect that she would go so low as trying to use children as soldiers. So he ponders on what exactly he wants with these two children.
But their little hands can fit onto the little bombs.
Oh, like Snowpiercer?
Yeah, I guess really, I'd just be feeding them cockroaches. Is that what happens?
Jelly
to Snowpiercer?
cockroaches,
Jelly
yeah.
cockroaches, yeah. And I would just, having a heyday in the front of that train.
Oh, you'd be the bad guy.
Yeah, of course I'm I'm the River Queen.
That's true. The River Queen would be up at the front in the nightclub train.
I would be complaining the entire time because it would be so dry. And really, the conductor would probably be like, "This queen, can we put her back on the river?"
If I recall, the front half of the train gets to have like hot tubs and stuff in their in their cars. So you'd be all right. But you'd still probably be complaining because like first world problems,
Yeah.
First train problems.
Nothing's good enough for me, baby.
So Therian gets this instruction from the queen, but doesn't understand really what she's doing. What she could want with them remains to be a mystery for him and us at the end of this chapter.
Mystery.
And we must stop now.
Okay. I'm so happy to leave you all enshrouded in my mysteries.
Yes.
And I hope that you can feel my power and my prowess from here. And I'm sorry that, Natalie looked so good this episode and it was difficult for you to get through. I'm just assuming.
And it must have been really hard. And
because we're scared of her, but we also really like it.
I feel conflicted looking like this.
Good, as you should. But I'm just saying, maybe this is like a Wednesday night fit.
It's not even finished. I didn't get to finish it in time, so I'm gonna have to fucking come with her again.
Okay. It's not
because
like
my uniform didn't have all the stuff added to it.
Oh, God. I mean, it is a really great uniform, though. I think you're killing it.
Thank you. It's not good enough. It's never good enough. It's never good enough.
Natalie, we can't end it like this, Natalie. Natalie, come back. Natalie!